are live. Welcome everybody to the Jeff Tadlock, aka Stairway to Reason after party. Hello, Faye.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Well, it's been a while since you jumped in one of these.
Hello, my fair lady.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Nothing more pleasant than the sound of a female voice. I've been a sucker for it since I was 10.
Yay!
Faye, this is Jeff. He does the show called Stairway to Reason. He's a phenomenal musician. I've heard lots of what he's done through.
Phenomenal. That's a big word. Thank you.
Well, I like using big
Nice.
words. Makes me sound smart. And of course,
Yes.
No Sacred Cows, and you
Yes.
also know IQ as well. So,
Yes.
and then there's me, the leftover riffraff.
Yeah, I don't know if I knew.
Riff and Wrath. Yes.
You know me. You've had me on your show.
I know. So how's everyone tonight?
Very good.
Doing pretty good.
I was inspired by Neil to grab a beer. I did so.
My job has been successful.
You know, I'm not a drinker. I hardly ever drink. Maybe once a month I'll have a drink. But
Really?
I have a 22-year-old in the house with me, and he threw a big party last night. Bunch
Oh,
of kids over here. I call them kids, early 20s. And my fridge got stocked with beer. And it's still stocked.
that's because they're lightweights.
Yeah. You know, so I'm having beer.
Well, Nacha, Nacha, my friend Nacha Witness is in the chat right now. You could jump in if you wanted to. You are always allowed. You know that. He's one of our from Down Under connections. He's not
Oh,
Aussie.
how many people can you fit into this screen here?
I can fit one more.
Hmm.
Unlike the old Google Hangouts, which is what I used to use because that's what YouTube offered.
Mm-hmm.
You could do 10 people, but it usually got a little out of control.
Do you have to pay for this
Oh,
service?
yeah.
I do pay for this. I pay.
Okay.
I think I pay just under $20 a month.
I have
And
not
It
seen a
allows
glitch.
me to do branding.
Okay, I have not seen a glitch yet. This has been very smooth for him.
Once
So
in a
far.
while, the people in the chat get shuffled, which is a
Oh,
weird, bizarre thing. But
Or they can't hear each other.
yeah, or somebody can't. Yeah, because that's right. Because you were in the chat that one time, and who was it that couldn't hear you? Adam, the atheist, couldn't hear you, and so I had to relay like a messenger, which is really bizarre how that happens.
I am getting an awesome Rob Zombie vibe from Stairway.
Yeah, that's actually what. As soon as you said that, I go, yeah, I could see that.
I take that as a compliment, and I try to remind my followers that I am not a scholar. I am an artist, and that's what it is. That's what you see. What you see is what you get.
Yay, artist.
Now,
Yeah.
what I do as an artist is I take the science that scholars write and come up with, and I put it into layman terms and give it to the public. As
I
an
need
artist.
I need that. I'm a layman.
As an artist, yeah. So
Awesome.
Actually, I'm a scientist in my own accord. Really,
Yeah, you are.
I'm a chemist, and I actually do analytical chemistry for an environmental company. So. Yeah.
And on the verge of figuring out how the very first cell got started.
Well, we have ideas, but
Somebody's got to figure that one out.
hang
We're
on,
hurting.
one more.
We're hurting over here, guys.
Hello, Duke. This is my very good friend Duke Bonanza. Duke,
What's cracking
this
like
is-
y'all?
Hello, Duke. Hi.
What's
honey.
crackling?
Oh, well, there goes the neighborhood.
Don't be sad, grumpy bear.
Yeah, it's Duke. Neil's channel's never getting monetized. Bonanza.
That's exactly right. It's Duke. Let's talk about titties and assholes bonanza.
So I thought YouTube monetized you once you hit 1,000 subscribers. I was wrong. I hit 1,000 subscribers and it didn't work.
No?
Really?
I thought it was 1,000. I thought it was 1,002.
No,
I
that's
got-
not.
I got-
That is only one of the criteria.
It's got to be
The
views as
other
well,
one, you have
right?
to have- you
The
have to have
other
so
one
many
is
views.
how many views you've had in a matter of time in a window of time.
Right.
I didn't meet that criteria.
Oh, you're right.
I'm sorry. I was close though. I was
Yeah.
close, but I didn't meet it.
I will never make that criteria.
I don't think
Yeah.
I'll ever get monetized, to tell you the truth.
It's hard. Yeah, you've got to. My theory is to get monetized, you have to have 50,000 subscribers.
Probably.
Okay, Not to Witness is saying it takes 1K subs, a minimum,
Yeah.
and 4K hours. I think that's per month. And
It's during a time frame.
year.
Yeah.
yeah,
You have
Was
to
it
get that in a year.
yeah, and it's about to change again. So,
Mm.
What?
Probably for
Yeah.
the worst.
oh,
Well,
I
they don't
imagine
want
they're
you
gonna
guys to
make
get
it
used to it.
up. That's right. They don't want to be
You know
giving
what
us
you're-
money.
That's right. If you know what you're supposed to be doing, then you might do that.
Well, I would pass with flying colors if it was Facebook, because YouTube's not my forum. I reach millions on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like this last week, my last report was 20,000 reach in less than a week.
That's
So
pretty good.
yeah, I would, if Facebook monetized the way YouTube monetizes, I would be in there. I'd be in there.
Are
But
you
they don't.
are
They
you
don't.
posting Are you posting your videos on YouTube and linking them to Facebook?
No, I don't. I do. I've recently deleted all my videos from YouTube and I'm reintroducing them.
I
But
saw that.
that's all I'm doing. I don't even go there. I don't even respond to. I don't know how to run YouTube. I started with Facebook, and that's where I've been ever since.
I was going to say if you were to put it up on I would think if you put it up on YouTube, right, and then link it into Facebook, so it's showing on Facebook, you still get the exposure of Facebook, but YouTube will read it. I believe they will see it as an outside feed, and it'll count towards your count. So if you get 20,000,
From what I understand is if you put a YouTube link or possibly any link that's not affiliated with Facebook, is they slow down your reach of your post.
maybe.
So I'm very careful not to put any links on my Facebook posts that will slow down my reach. They're competitors with YouTube.
Hmm.
If you put a YouTube link on your Facebook post, that post ain't going nowhere.
Well, then you got to get on Twitter because Twitter and YouTube are one and the same.
Now yes, so I need to. I really honestly needed an administrator is what I need. Somebody who wants to help grow the page and somebody who wants to run my YouTube, run my Twitter, and all that kind of stuff.
I'd help, but I'm bloody lazy and useless.
Yeah. I believe you.
No, but yeah, I mean, my YouTube page is really minimal. But whenever I do link it, whenever I do put up a video, I always link it back to YouTube. That's where most of my views come from. Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, it's like, yeah, because
Well, I could sure use your help if you wanted to admin my YouTube.
I could probably set it. I could set it up. That's about it.
Go to Facebook, send me a message, and maybe we can talk about it. And in fact, if somebody was to make it even somewhat successful, I would discuss percentages.
I'm not worried about that.
That's what I find a lot of, actually, Jeff, is that people are willing to help out and they don't really need to be rewarded, I guess we'll say.
Yeah.
Or compensated. Yeah, that's a better word. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're giving somebody access to your info, to getting in and meddling with your page, so it's kind of a big responsibility.
Yeah.
From my perspective, like I have one person admin my Facebook, and she has access. Like if she wanted to destroy my life, she could easily do so.
Yeah. The only thing is that I have a heck of a lot of. My work is about 9 to 10 hours a day. So Neil will tell you I'm very rarely in these chats anymore.
That's true.
So I'll tell you one thing that happened with Facebook. See, I'm not a YouTuber. You guys are. I started on Facebook, and that's where I've built my presence.
Yeah.
And I got Facebook about 4 months ago. People were complaining, the Facebook community was complaining about too many videos popping up. It became a big thing. Like, what is this? YouTube? This is, we're not YouTube. I'm getting tired of seeing videos. So they slowed down the reach of videos, and I suffered about a 50% cut on my reach after that.
Yeah, you really have to get into Twitter. We can set it up for you. And
Not just Twitter though. I heard a thing on NPR that some politicians are taking up the cause of limiting how many videos are on Facebook because it's so much of a time sink, and they're trying to blame that for how stupid society is instead of our education system. So yay!
Yeah. And the argument
no.
that Facebook is about connecting with your family and friends, it was never about being YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah, our educational system does suck. Like I have to complain. I have to explain our consents at the hospital. So when people are signing the consents, I have to let them know. And there's two things that hang up probably 25% of my patients. One of them is, are you a member of any clinical trial? Are you participating in any clinical trials at this time? Any experimental medicine clinical trials? And they'll be like, what is that? I'm like, no, you're not. You would know if you were. And then the other one that they get hung up on is, do you need an interpreting service today? And I probably 12 times a week I hear, what's interpreting me?
Wow.
And these are adults, and I'm like, how do you not know what interpreting means? Like, how do you not know what that means? So, yeah.
I would take that answer to be yes if they don't have the basic vocabulary to understand that much.
Yeah, but where are you going to find an interpreter to interpret from English to, well?
Oh, dude, we have
English to idiot?
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I was about to say, dude, we have a Cryocom. So we have a Cryocom system that connects and will literally connect us to a translator in almost any language you can think of. We take an iPad, and put it between the two of us, and a translator talks between the two of us so that we can understand.
Yeah.
And they can understand us. It's pretty cool.
Doesn't work with idiot though. You need crayons.
Picture books.
You do need crayons. You do. Picture books. It's a sad thing. Between that and having people that like qualify for free, basically free insurance through the county, that don't do it because it's too much of a hassle, and so they incur like $60,000 worth of debt that would have been paid for if they would have just gone down to the place and applied.
Oh well.
So, just out of curiosity, is everybody here an atheist? Is that what what the situation is?
Yes. Well, I'm hardcore.
Okay, is everybody here in the YouTube world?
No.
Everybody running streaming and stuff?
Yeah, well, sort of.
Not me.
Wonder Lady is.
Yeah.
Okay, tell either Neil say something or you say something about yourself. Wonder Lady. I want to know who I'm hanging out with here.
I do. I've been trying to start up my inquisitions again.
What's that?
Oh, okay. I'll sit someone down and I'll ask them a bunch of questions, and by the end, they may or may not be comfortable anymore.
How do you find these people? What's the setting for this?
One-on-one. I'll turn around and I'll ask them something easy, like about love, or about their plans for their corpse after they die.
Out in public, you mean?
Huh?
Out in public or in your home?
Oh, I'm home.
Okay.
I'm talking to them online.
Yeah.
And,
like in a Google chat forum like this.
Yes.
Right. And I'll say, oh well, there's a hurricane coming, and you're living on the coast, and there's an 18-foot tidal surge. You live 300 feet above sea level. What do you do? And then they tell me their evacuation plans or non-evacuation plans, and then I add pets, and then I add children,
For all the suckers.
and then I make it more uncomfortable. Then I make them the person who's knocking on the door, trying to get people out of their homes. And it's on what case would you force someone out of their home?
Okay.
And
So you don't really cover atheism really that much. It's kind of an odd form of entertainment.
I guess it's an odd form of entertainment. I mean, I will
Right on.
touch on certain things like, is exorcism legal or moral?
Yeah.
No.
Things like that.
Does that really happen, or is I thought that?
Yeah.
Was
Actually, it's kind of funny.
I know it did in the 1800s and prior, but is it still happening today?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
even the Vatican, they got their own
You're
exorcism.
kidding.
Nope.
Yeah,
You didn't see that,
Jones is right.
That's
there was
something that I need to look into for my page.
There you go.
There was that.
How
There
did
was
this
that school.
not come to my mind.
There was that school
Yeah.
that banned all of the Harry Potter books from being read, Catholic school.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the guy who ran the school said he consulted with the Vatican's exorcism specialists.
Yeah.
So there's priests going around doing exorcists today.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Not
I've
just-
got to
and-
know
and-
more. I've
And
got
not,
to know more.
not just priests, not just
This
priests.
this is
You got
laughable.
art- you
This
got
is
artists
comedy.
and-
Well, it's laughable in comedy, except for I'm not sure if these are Catholic exorcisms or
Except
not, and
there's
I'm not
victims,
sure
right?
exactly. And some victims,
Yeah.
depending on the country and or religion, they'll tie someone down. It won't be with consent. It won't be voluntary, and they'll
Mm,
either beat or dehydrate that person to death.
wow. And that
So-
person
What was that
probably
movie?
they probably have schizophrenia, and you're probably
Yeah.
just frightening them to death.
Yep.
That's what I was going to say. If you watch that movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, that's based on a German account of a woman who was almost definitely schizophrenic,
Mm,
and they basically killed her.
jeez.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it's happened here not too long ago in North America.
Yeah, schizophrenia is a terrible disease, and people who have it, if they don't understand it, it can go
It'd fuck you up.
go bad real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, my sister-in-law's got it. One minute she's fine, next minute she's praying to Jesus, next minute she's on her knees servicing the boys.
So I follow a schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Her page is called "I'm Not a Monster,"
hmm
and she's a pretty gal too, a young in her mid-20s. Just a great looking lady, a really pretty face. You would never imagine that she's struggling with schizophrenia, but she is.
Well, it's basically it's just a miswiring of the brain.
Yeah,
It's
she's
real-
real stuff. Yeah.
When it comes to such things like schizophrenia, paranoia, basically it's no different than if you were suffering, say, from cancer or one of the other physical problems that you can see. The only thing is it affects your brain. Your brain is missing something. Something's not wired right, or it's misfiring. It's not really a mental illness. It's a physical. There's a physical issue within the brain for the most part. A lot of these, and that's why they need drugs to try and keep it in control. And the drugs will help, but they do have a bad habit of making you feel you're not with it. Sometimes it's even worse than the disease.
Sometimes, yeah.
So
I read an article somewhere that like when you take like psychoactive drugs, like it's not actually doing anything magical in your brain. It's just telling your brain to do something it can already do naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all of
Wish
them
I
do
could
that.
trigger that without the drug. That'd be nice.
Right. Well, the
that's
thing
the
is
problem.
that's what happens. That's kind of what happens with schizophrenics. It does trigger things like that without the drug and without them being prepared for it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I understand it. Now, I'm not a specialist of any kind. I could be entirely wrong, and this is the internet. And if I am, somebody will tell me. But
Oh yeah, right quick in a very, very rude manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah, I hate the way that happens, but I don't know why that has to happen, why people react to things so. Part of the problem is when you're texting words, when you're typing, there's no emotional. There's nothing behind it. It's just words.
No tone.
So it can be, tone. That's a good word. And it could be misinterpreted. One sentence said with different inflections can mean totally different things.
Yeah, we
every
rely
time.
so much on tone of voice and body language.
Good face, yeah.
I was gonna
It
say
also
if I had
helps
a dollar
that
for every time.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Faye. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, it kind of helps that nobody knows how to use commas anymore, including myself.
That's partially true too. But
we get
like, if I had a
lazy. I'm
dollar,
guilty too.
if I had a dollar for every
phone a
time I
lot.
had to dial something back, and explain it for like 8 tweets to try to explain. No, I didn't mean the thing that you just said. I mean, like, that's not what I meant. I just worded it poorly. Like, what I meant was this. And by the time you're in that place, it's suspect anyways. Like, am I really dialing it back because I'm telling the truth, or did I get caught? You know what I mean?
You've
There's no way
already
to tell that
triggered
either.
someone.
Yeah. So you're just kind of stuck in the hot seat, and maybe they'll accept it or maybe they won't.
A poorly placed comma can really change how somebody sees what you're saying.
Yeah. And I get tired of people trying to correct my words and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm on a cell phone here using my thumbs. Give me a break.
That cheers me because I get a lot of what you mean is, and it's like,
How do you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. What you meant to say is.
What I meant to
So,
say.
I like this one. Are you implying that blah 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 blah? And it's like, I didn't even come close to implying the thing you just said.
No, I would just say maybe.
Sometimes it's not even really an honest misunderstanding. Sometimes you just want to say to the person, "Listen, your inability to read in context is not my fucking problem."
Yeah.
Right.
So when I first started my page, when I had like 500 followers, I responded to every single comment. Now, none.
Easy to do.
You can't.
Don't even look at them.
Really? Then I've been wasting my time sending you messages. Thanks a lot.
You have been. If I see your comment or respond to you, you're 1 in 1,000.
Okay, note to self: don't write him messages.
You have to send him a direct message.
Okay.
It took me a while to get.
Now that story is different. If you're in my private members group, those are the people that pay me. I'm very, very sensitive to their comments.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
it's funny. There are people, like, I respond to most people, but like if somebody's taking me completely out of context, and it's obvious, like it's a lot of times it's so obvious they're taking me out of context that like 10 other people that know me will chime in and be like, "Did you read everything before you said this?"
I know. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I get images of that black girl on the news. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't
at
do
that
it.
point, I just drop the snark on them. At that point, I just clown them. I just troll them. Like, screw it. Might as well. You're not going to listen to what I'm saying anyway, so I might as well just be a dick. You know?
That's because you're just a big meanie, Duke.
I come across.
I am a big meanie.
Long thread. Bunch of notifications. People are all excited. They're all talking about something I posted, and I click on there, and there's 100 comments, and I'm like, nope, I'm not even going in there. I don't know what's being said. I don't know what's going on here, but something's happening here with this video. They're not going to hear from me. I'm gone.
Dude, as far as I'm concerned, if there's 100 comments on something I've said, I no longer need to be involved.
Nope.
Everybody else has picked up that torch for me.
Yeah, and I have defenders, and they do great work. Every once in a while, I will peer in on a comment thread, and I've got all these people that support me arguing for me. I'm like, they don't even need me. Good. Good shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If you got something like that, you got like a little army of protectors. Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
You do, yeah.
To a point.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Army of protectors.
That can go wrong too. But,
it can go ugly, really bad. suddenly you become somewhat of a messiah figure, and if you suddenly say the wrong thing, they'll turn on you.
Well, that's
Oh,
what
God,
the commas are for. Let's
Yeah.
eat grandma versus let's eat
That's
grandma.
why I don't do politics.
It's the difference
If I
between
was, if I was
love
to
politics.
infuse politics into my page, I would lose half of my followers instantly.
leave the politics to No Sacred Cows here. He's good at that shit.
Yes, no politics. Oh my God, nothing divides people more than that. Holy crap.
Religion.
Oh, religion and politics. Yeah, I'm in the religion, but if I added one more, you'd see my audience just go whoop.
That's
Split.
probably why I've never cracked 100 on my channel.
Don't
I
do
mean, I've had a channel for 3 years now, and I haven't cracked 100.
If you're gonna do politics, pick the right person and go 100% that way. If you go down the middle, you'll have nobody.
No, I go after idiots. That's my problem.
Stop doing that. And I was going to say, Faye, you were saying earlier about let's eat, grandma, and then let's eat grandma. I had another one like that. It's like, let's help Uncle Jack off a horse, or let's help Uncle Jack off a horse.
Exactly. Exactly.
Could we take a second while we have an opportunity to shill out the fundraiser for Ansgar?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to pop that in the chat, man, go for it. Yeah, Ansgar's going through a rough time, and now his car's been written off. Well, I don't know if I'd say it was written off. It's damaged, and it needs to be repaired.
Big time styling.
And they haven't been doing so well financially this year, so any help from their friends would be good. So,
it's been a rough year for a lot of people.
Sure, it has. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's been a rough 5 years for me. But hey,
Not for me.
who's counting?
Sorry, guys. It's actually been a pretty good year for me.
right, you're buying the sushi next time.
Yeah.
Actually, it is your turn.
Honestly, I've never known life where it's not rough, so I can't really comment on it.
That's why I decided to get a decent paying job so that I would be able to, get a little frivolous with the things that I like to do, like this, and which is why I don't really. That's why I didn't start a Patreon until recently.
But you make it sound like good paying jobs are just right across the street.
No.
That's not quite the case.
I was very lucky. The guy that ran the original company that I started doing this with, which eventually got bought out by a company called GFL, he was my old camp counselor when I was a kid.
Oh wow!
So when he came into the store that I used to work at, I used to run a parts warehouse for Auto Parts Plus chain, and I was in charge of the drivers and all the core returns or whatever. And he came in and I said, George, I hear you pay a lot better than I'm making here. He goes, well, I don't know. What do you make here? And I said, well, not as much as you're fucking paying to start. He was paying $18.75 an hour to start at his job.
And how long ago was that?
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
That's been a shock for me because when I moved away, I used to do apartment maintenance, and I don't want to go back to that for nothing. But my base pay for me to work for you at apartment maintenance was $19 an hour. I wouldn't work for less than that. And I've made upwards of $25 an hour doing that. It's just the headache and the fact that the 90-hour weeks and all that stuff is just not worth it.
And the weirdness.
And the weirdness. God, I've got stories. God,
I know.
All right, there we go. The link for the GoFundMe is now in the chat for anyone that is willing to help out.
Thank
Cool.
you.
But then I came down here and I work in a hospital. I make like $12 an hour, which is like a fucking shock because it's like I'm used to a minimum of 18. But I make it work. I just work 50 hours of overtime per pay period.
Jordan has like $18.75 in moose bucks.
No, we don't have moose bucks. We got loonies.
Loonies, that's right. Loonies and toonies. No, but that was the starting wage when I started with him, and I've now been there for 10 years. And he took my knowledge of chemistry and put me in the lab, and said, "You're gonna work in here, and you're gonna run my antifreeze department because we recycle antifreeze and we take all the stuff and through high heat distillation or whatever, and then we turn it back into fresh glycol and distilled water. We recombine them for the 50-50 blend, and then I add all the chemical add packs, and I add all the colorants, and which there's like a rainbow of them now. As a matter of fact, during Pride Month, I posted a picture of all the different colors in the rainbow that we make and said Happy Pride and posted that picture out there. And everyone thought
So you're a smart motherfucker. You're a smart motherfucker. We get it. Quit bragging.
Anyway, so now I'm, making a fuck of a lot more than 1875. So I do pretty good, and I can afford to do this and take the time to do this. But, I've spent a lot of money on this channel through advertising, through my, the branding with the stickers and paying for this StreamYard now, which is a hell of a lot better than Google Hangouts. Yet it seems like they use the same shell formula for it. But, yeah, I got a lot of expenses now. According to this, now, I'm trying to pay off my Texas trip from last year's Faithless Forum, which I'll be going to again in April. I'm probably going to hit every year for the next few years anyways.
I'll try and go this year.
It's so much fun. Dude, we should all go down there. All of us from this area. We'll rent a plane and just fly down there.
I recently learned in the last year of my 40 years on Earth that doing video production kills your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my cousin actually shot a movie. He's actually a cinematographer.
One
and
movie
he's got
kill one computer, I bet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had a really high-end MacBook, and he would have to set the MacBook on ice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To render everything and to do everything he had.
I destroyed my first Mac. I didn't know that I was destroying it, but doing video production will kill your computer. Brand new computer, if you're working every day, probably last you about a year.
No, that's why I like the Alienware. They're built for that.
Yeah, I need to. That's what you were talking about, the expense of doing this, Neil. And that's what came to my mind was, oh, yeah, I found out the hard way. I killed my Mac. Now I'm on a new Mac, and I'm probably, as much as I work doing video production, probably going to need to get another one in less than a year.
I go for a gamer model because those ones are much, much better at projecting the heat away from the computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you go with a tower, you can also retrofit it with different cooling mechanisms that'll keep it cool.
Right.
Like liquid coolant.
They've got. Yeah, I was gonna say they've got methods in which you can. It's hard to do it with like a fucking laptop, but if you go with a tower model, just to do your videos and stuff with, you can actually have a much less expensive computer and still cool it properly in a way that it won't kill it.
Yeah. Bottom line is, Neil, that like what you're saying, you put a lot of money into it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't understand that. Mm-hmm. They think, oh, you just got a phone and a camera. How hard can that be? They have no idea. That's they don't know what they're talking about.
That's not where the quality stuff comes from.
Yeah, but a lot of the YouTubers do that. I mean, how many times?
Yeah,
I've responded to people. It's all their video.
They're doing like 5-minute clips, though.
Yeah, I know, but they're doing it, and not even doing it on landscape. They're doing, they're not turning the.
Yeah. You mean like Duke here?
Yeah, well, Duke's an idiot. What can we say? I love him, but he's an idiot.
Ooh, you're just mad because I won't touch your penis.
That we said last night.
It's not what I said last night. But listen, Quaaludes and Rohypnol don't count.
Yeah, but your mouth is full. Your mouth was full.
It certainly was, or at least a quarter full.
Yeah, there you go. Now we got that out of the way. Let's go back to the conversation.
Yeah, I was spending my night with a cashew.
There you
go. How come you turned off your camera, anyways, dude?
I look like trash.
You are trash.
I worked a 12-hour day today. I'm on my I don't know how many 12-hour days in a row, and so just turned it off. The minimum amount I work is 12, so I can go upwards of 16 to 18. Anything over 18, I get in trouble because it's illegal. But it depends. Our actual shifts are 12-hour shifts. We work from 6:45 in the morning until 7:15 at night, or from 6:45 in the evening until 7:15 in the morning. So, and like I kicked ass today.
A little bit of crossover then, dude.
About a half an hour crossover, which is intended for you to close out everything that you've been doing. But if you've been taking patients every 3 minutes for 5 hours, it's not going to happen. So we do what we can do. Today I kicked ass. I took supper close to 40 patients and logged off my computer at 6:40 and was done. But some days it's different. It just depends on who you get. Like Sundays are now almost never that way. I always call Sundays Ketamine Sunday because everybody that was partying Saturday night shows up Sunday morning. You know, so you got people with fucking pupils the size of their goddamn irises, and they're like, I don't know why they're saying I'm high. I haven't been taking drugs, and it's like, really? Yeah, that's obvious. I swear to God, every time they say that to me, I want to be like, booga, 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 booga.
Scare the crap out of them.
Just scare the shit out of them. Be like, look, dude, I've done enough hallucinogens in my life to know that you're high as a fucking kite, okay?
Yeah.
Or, you know, we get that in the Baker Acts, and those are always really sad. I mean, it's really sad. It sucks. Because, like, they're getting Baker Acted by the police, and I'm trying to get them to sign their consents, and they're like, I don't want to be Baker Acted. Please don't Baker Act me. And I'm like, I'm not Baker Acting you. Like, the police are Baker Acting. I don't have a choice in this matter.
What is Baker Acting?
Baker Acting is when you are self-destructive. You're seen as being a person that will harm themselves. You are automatically remanded to psychiatric. You're sanctioned.
Yeah, you're sanctioned.
They call
it. Yeah.
So those people come in. It typically goes like this: person drinks way too much alcohol, gets in a huge fight with her lover, cuts their wrist open. Lover calls the police.
Oh my God!
Police comes and gets them. They get brought to us. We send them to a psychiatric place. End of story. You know what I mean? Like, it's just what it is. We can't take chances with people, so we just do what we have to do.
When you said Baker accident, I thought you meant I was alone in my kitchen and I fell down and this beer bottle just fell out of the recycling at the same time and ended up halfway up my vagina and I can't get it out. Please help me. That's what I thought you were talking about.
I've never
happened to fall on it. That's all.
I've never had that, but I did have a lady with salad tongs stuck in her vagina.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Maybe she's trying to retrieve
the last thing she
jammed in her vagina.
All right, so the reason she had salad tongs in her vagina was because she forgot she was on her period, apparently, and she had a tampon in, and she and her husband had some extremely rough sex and pushed the tampon so far up inside of her that they couldn't get it. So they used salad tongs to try to get it out, and then it hurt too much trying to get them back out. So she comes and she stands in front of me, and I said, okay. She's like, I need to be seen by a doctor. And I said, okay, have a seat. She's like, I can't. And I'm like, okay, why can't you have a seat? And she's like, because I have salad tongs all the way in my vagina. I'm like, okay.
Crazy, man.
Crazy. I had a guy that got mauled by a gator the other day. This dude comes stumbling up to he's drunk as a lord. This guy's so drunk he can barely function. He comes stumbling up to my window. He's got caked blood and mud all over him. And I'm like, dude, what happened, buddy? And he goes, I got in a fight with a gator, and I think the gator won.
Wow.
You think?
He really shouldn't call his mother-in-law a gator. That's not nice.
He was drunk as hell on the bank of a river at midnight. He fell asleep on the bank, and this gator decided he looked scrumptious. He came up, took a bite out of him. The dude lifted his knee up, and where the top of his kneecap was, split open by 4 inches.
Oh.
Literally, he walked up to me. He walked to me and said, "I got mauled by a gator," and I was like, "I'm going to get the medical staff. You don't wait. You're not going to the waiting area. You're coming straight back, buddy."
Oh yeah.
Oh God, it was
fall apart.
I sort of got, and the funny thing is, the guy weighed about 115 pounds soaking wet, and I didn't say this to him, but I wanted to be like, "You're lucky it was a small gator, because if this would have been one of the big mama gators, you wouldn't have come in here. You'd be under a log, under the water somewhere, tenderizing." Right now.
Tenderizing. Gator snack for later.
There you go.
Sometimes people have no idea what they're getting themselves into. Like the lady with the salad tongs.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think we're going to have to go to the hospital. And the husband looks at her like, you know, you're going to have to go in there and tell Duke Bonanza that you did it. I don't care. We gotta
It's like what else? You know, is salad tongs, a tampon? It's like you might end up in there one day and be like, you find some other dude in there with a flashlight. I'm just trying to find my keys. Can you help me find my keys? We can drive out.
I bet you the doctor just did one thing. Said, "Honey, I know that it hurt trying to pull him out, but it's going to hurt when I pull him out too."
Yeah.
I mean, I bet that's the only way to do it. To pull him out.
Oh God, we get that. We get all kinds of stuff. It's funny because like we bounce back and forth between people that really don't need to be in the ER, you know. And I'm not saying they don't need to be treated. Everybody deserves medical treatment, and I wouldn't turn people away even if I could. But some people, it's like you have a sinus cold, not even an infection. You just have sinuses. You've showed up to the ER. What we're going to do is we're going to write you a $2,500 prescription for an over-the-counter medicine that you could just go buy. Like that's what's going to happen. But then you have other people that walk up to my window. Like I had a lady one night. I hadn't had a patient in like 4 hours. It was quiet. And all of a sudden I hear bang, bang, bang on my freaking window, and this lady's bleeding out of her head like crazy because she got in an argument with her cousin. Her cousin smashed a beer bottle over her head. She's got a piece of glass sticking out of her scalp. It's like,
Jeez.
I mean, I've seen that. I've got the people that come in on the Flocka, but they take Flocka and they mix it with fentanyl.
Oh boy.
And
Oh, Jesus.
fuck my life, dude. Like this one woman came in, she was so high that I was pretty sure that if we could have legally recorded what she said and then played it back through a sophisticated computer algorithm, we would know the nature of the universe. She was existing on 3 different planes at the same fucking time. I've never seen anything. This woman was beatboxing and slam poetry jamming for 12 hours straight. Nonstop.
Wow.
I mean, like,
it was possible.
I've never seen anything like it.
In her head,
then
she
there's-
must have been in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
She was until she came down.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then she was in a really bad place for a little while. But we have that. There's all kinds of shit. Like working in my industry is great when we get to really help somebody. It sucks when somebody I know personally comes in with their loved one and their loved one codes and dies. When they have to deal with that, or when they bring in dead kids, or when you have the people that are drunk and they come in with their 2-year-old who ran into the middle of the bonfire and now they have 3rd and 2nd degree burns all over their feet and legs. You know, like that kind of shit. It's just like I could live the rest of my life and never see that. You know, but then we have the funny people that are just fucking hilarious. You know, like I had the schizophrenic lady that time that came in to get labs done, or she came to get some outpatient thing done. And she sat down in front of me. We used 3 identifiers, right? So I ask you your date of birth, ask you your name, and I ask you the last 4 of your social security number. And that's how I identify that I've got the right person, right? So I asked her date of birth. She gave me that. I asked her name. She gave me that. I asked her what the last 4 of her social was. She's like panicked. She was like, oh God. Oh God. Oh God. And I'm like, calm down. We're going to get through this together. It's going to be okay. I just need you to calm down. What's your address?
Oh my.
She's like, oh God. Oh God. Oh God. And I'm like, I need you to calm down, ma'am. It's going to be okay. And she's like, I've got to get my ex-husband, Randolph. Randolph!
Oh.
And she stands up and runs to the door to the side, slams it up. She's like, "Get in here, Randolph!" She leads him over to my desk, and she's like, "Sit down here and tell him what he needs to know while I go to the potty, Randolph." And then she just disappeared. And this poor guy sits down. He's just dejected as fuck. And he was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, "Why don't you just leave?"
Yeah.
It's your ex-wife.
Emphasis on the X. You don't really need to be here.
Why don't you just go somewhere else, dude? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm never going to hear Randolph now without thinking of that story.
Randolph Scott.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Randolph.
Last time I went to the ER, I had glass in my foot. I couldn't get it out by myself. So I hate to bother you and blah, blah, blah. And I said, but I have glass in my foot. And they went, okay. And then the doctor came out and he goes, I'm going to take care of that right now. It's going to be uncomfortable. And I said, really hate to bother you. I know you have more important things. He's like, no, I wish people would come in here with glass in their feet more often. You shouldn't do this at home. And he went on and on, like lecturing me the whole time I had to be there. And I'm going, okay. And he's like, and then people push it in deeper and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay.
I see you, May, but I'm actually full up right now.
You know, it's interesting because you have no idea how much we like. I don't want to say appreciate it because I don't appreciate it when somebody's really sick, but how like refreshing it is when somebody's there and they really need to be there. Considering like all the people I see who kind of don't, you know what I mean? Like it's like you deserve medical treatment, but you have a cold. Like we're not going to do anything for you for that. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing we can do.
Go home and
Right.
rest.
Go home and drink some Gatorade, rest.
Yeah.
Or the people that like the helicopter parents that don't know how to parent anymore, that don't know how to like go back and forth between ibuprofen and Tylenol, give their kids a little lukewarm bath, bring their temperature down, get them past it. You know what I mean? There's like my kid's running a temperature of 99.5. It's like, okay. The kids laughing their ass off, running around having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with your kid. Why are you in the emergency room?
Guys, I can go for another 17 or so minutes till about 6:30, and I do have May waiting in the backstage area. If there's anyone that would like to maybe let her finish out the stream with us.
Oh, Bill.
That's fine. I can hop out. I got some shit to take care of anyway.
IQ, you're always the man.
All right.
Right on. Well, Jeff, nice being on a stream with you. You rock.
Absolutely.
And,
Thank you.
You've got 2 subs from me. So
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
awesome. Well, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or wherever the fuck you are in the world. And yeah, all right, I'm out.
On our spinning sphere. All right, IQ, thanks very much dude, I can't thank you enough for all that you do for me.
Hey, no problem, man. It's a good
comes,
fucking cause, man. You do good shit, and you gotta pay respects where the good chips are. So I was tired of putting all my fucks in the wrong basket. So
I appreciate it, brother.
Just do like me and don't put your fucks in any basket.
Yeah, just toss them all over the street.
All right, everybody. See ya.
All right, peace out.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
That's just wondering.
Hi, May.
How many?
Hey.
Hi, May.
Hi.
How many musicians do you think there are in this area that would fall underneath the agnostic atheist banner? I mean, there's you and Jeff.
My buddies that had a band called Atheist.
Well, I was thinking, wouldn't it be kind of neat if you guys put together a band, call it somewhere, I don't know. The Atheist.
All the guys in my band are atheists.
I don't think I'm recognized as a musician, though. Or not by very many, at least.
Well,
Dude,
anybody.
you're playing guitar in your videos.
Yeah, I was going to say, anybody that's in your videos will know you're a musician. But I was going to say something like, this weird name that just came up in my head. The Agnostic Atheist Acoustic Apocalypse Band.
I've never even heard of them. Is that a thing?
It could be. Hint, hint.
Oh, my band already has a name, dude.
Yeah, but it's something for the, if you ever get together for the Faithless Four and put something together.
I mean, my apartment's kind of upside down, but you can see the.
I don't know. It looks right side up to me.
Well, the ceiling was on the floor the other day, so I kind of had to move some stuff around. I'm still working on that, but I've got a keyboard over there, and I've got a couple of guitars over there, and
That's
you
right.
might actually almost be able to see my guitars out in the hall. So I'm on the pretty much on the other side of the country, though.
That's true. It'd be a hell of a commute.
Yeah.
But, however, you see, you don't need to be in the same city as other musicians today, because they can send you tracks, and you can add your part to the tracks, and then send it back, and they'll mix it together.
So what
You're sitting on my track for like ever.
Duke, I know. Shut up.
But that's like.
Work?
I don't know. If I were to ever be in a band, I would want to like be in a band, not just email back and forth.
I hear you.
Sound clips. I don't think I could make music like that.
Same.
No.
Yeah.
I get it, but if let's say somebody just said, I've heard you play keyboards, for example, and I think you're phenomenal, and I'd love to add some of your touch to our music. I'm sure you. And that there would be, obviously, they'd probably pay you to do it. I'm sure you'd say, sure.
Yeah, money should change.
Yeah, I guess. I
mean, eventually, who knows? You make enough money doing this, and we could all move to the same area and just be a unit. Right?
I still make money doing it as a studio musician.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you can all move here. I'm not leaving Peterborough.
I still get hired to do production too.
God.
But I was in the industry for a long time.
Yes, yeah, and
What do you play?
For many, many years.
My main is guitar, but I also play piano.
Okay, I'm a guitarist and a
Piano.
bassist.
I am sometimes asked to play bass, but
I'm a guitarist and a bass player.
Really?
I try to play guitar.
I don't think I'll try.
That's okay. We'd much rather have you in the audience, holding up a lighter or something.
You really want to talk with a lighter.
When I was very young, I used to sing opera, but that doesn't count.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you really?
I was a 3 opera.
It totally counts.
Oh,
Hey.
Wow, that's not bad for a kid.
Yeah, and have you heard of Epica? If not, go listen to Epica.
no,
I will
haven't.
Design your universe.
I'll check that out.
Symphonic metal is a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is. Dimmu Borgir is my favorite.
Dimmu Borgir, yeah. What's another one? There's quite
Simone
a few.
Simons.
And she has a beautiful voice.
So does Shannon.
What's about the girl that who sings your song, Jeff? What's her name again?
her name's Janie Kelly.
Yeah, she's got one hell of a voice.
She's a Christian.
Is she Christian?
How I got her to sing that song, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So how did you get her to sing that?
Well, I told her it's kind of like she loved that John Lennon song, Imagine. A lot of Christians do. I said it's kind of like that.
Well, you lied.
Good tactic.
Well, it wasn't a lie. It's very similar to that. I mean, Christians love that Imagine There's No Heaven, by John Lennon.
Yeah, but that's
And she loved that song.
Yeah, but that's an atheist anthem down here.
I know, but the thing is, I got her when she was lukewarm, though, and I think she's even getting more lucre. Like
more lucre.
I've been rubbing off on her to the point where I think she's turning into one of these New Age Christians, and like in 6 months she'll be not a Christian anymore. I mean, she's on her way. She's figuring it out.
You're doing your job right, man.
Doing my job. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, she when she recorded that song, she was pretty sure full-on Christian, just not really active in the environment. You know how there's Christians that don't really go to church.
Sure.
You know, you wouldn't see it reflected in their life in any kind of way. That's
Yeah, we call them Anglicans.
Yeah,
But
that's
when I was still a practicing Christian, I used to listen to songs that were pretty well damned, either anti-God or at least, you know, atheist or whatever it was. And I would just, in my mind, replace the lyrics I didn't like to make them reflect
right.
what I wanted to hear.
Right.
I mean, we see a lot of in the atheist community. I don't know about, you know, other people's experiences, but in the atheist community, we encounter like the worst, or at least the most, you know, devout Christians coming to us or us going to them. But like then you have Christians like my mom who almost never even goes to church and basically is irreligious, just believes. And uses it as a social group, basically.
Cultural Christians.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I guess cultural Christians, she believes, I think, but she's like, okay, that's good enough for me. I don't need to go around preaching or anything, you know. She works like a 20-hour week and a 50-hour week, and she's an RN, so she doesn't have time for that shit anyway. So,
well, also, I've run across plenty of Christians who were absolutely devout, but when you run across them in the real world, like you have these great conversations with them.
Yeah,
you know, I think that the online thing kind of removes any accountability
Filters.
that you would have if you were sitting across the table from somebody. When you're sitting across the table from somebody eye to eye talking to them, there's a different level of respect and concern that you pay to that person than when they're just a name and an avatar.
Right.
You know, and you're just going back and forth. Because like one of my favorite people of all time, his name is Daniel. Daniel, I was a devout, if you want to call it devout atheist, I was a confirmed atheist by the time I met Daniel. And Daniel is the one person that almost turned me back to Christian faith on 3 separate occasions.
Oh, wow.
And it had nothing to do with him, with what he was saying. It had everything to do with just him as a person. It was like, well, this guy is just an amazing person. Like, maybe I'm in the wrong camp. Maybe I'm just looking at it the wrong way, but it just never stuck. I would get away from Daniel and start thinking about things again. Think, okay, well, there's this one guy I know who kind of exemplifies everything that you would think of as good in the Christian faith. It doesn't seem to have any of the bad baggage that comes along with it. But what about all these other questions that are still not answered? And he couldn't answer them either. You know what I mean? So like intellectually, I walked away from every conversation we had unfulfilled, but emotionally, knowing the guy, it was one of those things where it's just like, I want to be like this dude. He's just this great fucking guy, and it seems like his faith does that for him.
See, I've never met anyone like that.
You should meet Daniel sometime. He is one of the kindest, most gentle, generous people I've ever met.
Yeah,
He's just an amazing dude.
I was raised atheist, so when I run into religious people, my knee-jerk reaction is sometimes they come off a little bit creepy because of the magic thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I
don't want to be rude about it, but when they start going, oh, well, blah, 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 and it's, okay, that's a little bit personally irresponsible. No, don't give it to God. Work it out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a bit not so, you know, if someone's a nice person, that's one thing, but I would never give that credit to.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain Daniel if you'd have never met him. He's very much a boots on the ground guy.
Is he a
He's
lion
not a leave
tamer?
it to God. What's that?
Is he a lion tamer?
No.
A lion tamer?
Okay.
What?
But no,
I gotta know why you asked that question, Faye.
Oh, Christians and lions, you know.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, bad joke.
No. He's very much a boots on the ground kind of guy. Do something, don't just pray. He's a special dude. Like, he's a special guy. He's one of those very rare people you meet in your life. It's just like, he's also one of the few people I've met that was genuinely an atheist and then became a Christian.
Really?
By looking into the arguments. And I've never understood how that works because he's super fucking smart. He's way smarter than I am. And we would have these like 2 and 3 and 4 hour fucking debates over this stuff, which is where, like, if you see, like, whenever I actually approach, I almost never do it, but whenever I actually approach a religious debate seriously, all of the things I say come from these conversations I have with him. Like, I literally sharpened myself against him in a time period when I didn't even know what the cosmological argument was. I had no idea what any of these things were. He introduced me to all of those things, and I kind of subsequently debunked them.
Was he an apologist?
Yeah, he's studying to be an apologist. Yeah, he's
so he knows the teleological, the ontological, the cosmological. He knows all that shit.
He knows all of it, and like, I would have these huge conversations. He'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna go clean the brains out of my ears," because not because I'm a smart guy.
Before that, he would have already known the counters to those. Would he have not?
I would have thought, but I don't know that he put that much effort into it. I think he didn't really put a lot of effort into atheism. Just didn't believe, and then he went to like try to learn like what the Christian arguments were, so he'd know them better, and they convinced him.
Wow.
He probably wasn't really an atheist, to be honest.
Oh, don't use the no true Scotsman bullshit.
No, no. I mean,
there's something odd about that statement. Everybody's presumed atheist before they become religious, so it's easy to say, "Oh, I was previously an atheist," but really,
no. What I say this, what I mean was he was contemptuous of religion in general, and approached it with hostility, and changed his mind. So he's one of the few people I've met that genuinely didn't believe, genuinely held religion in contempt, and changed his mind and became a member of the other side. And I mean, like, he's dangerous. Like, say what you want to say. If you want to get into a debate with Daniel-san,
hook him up.
Gird up your fucking loins, because the guy knows fucking everything.
Tell him to find Stairway to Reason. They're all running from me. I can't find one. In fact, I'm seeming to see a trend that Christians are doing less and less debates. Yeah. I think it's because they're losing more and more. I am looking for a educated, even maybe a more known Christian speaker. I can't get into those, but I'm looking for a highly intelligent, highly engaged Christian debater. I can't find any. When I find somebody who seems like they can maybe put up half a challenge for me, and I bug them to do a live with me, and they refuse.
Yep, we're having the same issues here.
I can't find any Christian to debate me. It's becoming nearly impossible.
Well, you look at what is passing itself off as the spokespeople for Christianity today. You got Ashley Tomlinson, that idiot. You got that idiot bloody Canadian.
Josh Blitzer.
Well, I was thinking Pedersen.
Jordy,
that cunt. Excuse my
Well,
English.
Peterson's just disingenuous.
Yeah, that cunt got me banned for Twitter for 7 days. I made a comment about him or one of his fanboys got my ass slung into Twitter jail for 7 days.
Yeah, that asshole basically has a cult.
Yeah.
Well, Duke, send your boy my way if you know somebody who's.
I paid money.
Are you on Twitter at all?
You will be.
I'm on Facebook.
He's on.
If you're
Twitter.
on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, look up Duke Bonanza on Facebook. I'm on there. Connect with me on Facebook, and I'll see if I can't get Daniel-san to shoot you something. I'm not saying he's going to do great. I'm just saying, like, he's the guy that I sharpened all my chops against.
Duke Bonanza. Okay, I'll look you up now.
Just like it is here.
Yeah, that's the reason I chose that name.
Jeff, we'll get your Twitter account going. I'll find somebody that would be willing to handle it, as long as you're willing to pop in once in a while.
No,
for sure.
I can set it up, but I can only do it for a little while.
It's already set up.
Yeah, I know it's set up. I need to. Yeah, I can take care of that. for a short term until you find somebody
All
who can take over full time.
So
I
I
have
just
someone
I
in
just sent
mind.
you a message.
Yeah.
I have someone
Okay,
in
man.
mind.
I'll check into it.
I'm sorry. What's that, Faye?
I have someone in mind, but I'll tell you after.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll keep in touch with you, Jeff, because I got lots of people in my networking that do that kind of thing, that run pages or forums or
I'll leave it.
boards or whatever for others. So I know lots of people that are willing to do that.
Well, it's funny, Jeff, you were saying that it's hard to find a Christian anymore that will debate you. It's funny because when I first got on Twitter, that's all I did. I went after Andrew Strautalites. I went after Red Pill. I went after all these people, and I constantly debated with them.
You
And
might have
after about a year.
me. You might have misunderstood me in a live forum like what Neil's doing.
Right.
No.
I can find a dozen of them right now to text back and forth with me, and I don't have time for that. But anybody who wants to go live with me and engage in a live chat, that's what's difficult.
Yeah, no, I get that, but my point was a little bit different. It was just to say that, like, when I first started off on Twitter, I was constantly debating. And after about a year of that shit, I was like, I'm not debating anybody anymore. Fuck it, I'm tired of it.
Right.
I'm tired of saying the same fucking things over and over again, and then having the person I'm talking to say, "You didn't answer my question." When it's like, no, I didn't just answer your question. I answered it 3 times in 3 different ways. Like, you're just being obtuse at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I got tired of it, and I just quit doing it. So I'm not going to do this anymore.
I go through that with atheists.
If you want to,
I'll do it for a while.
if you want to lose a debate, you could always do G-Man. He's never lost a debate.
Says
Fuck
him.
that shit. You know what? You could also do the same thing with Joshua the Panty Dryer fucking Brister.
Yeah, that's what.
Or Kent Hovind.
Ken Hovind, yeah, Hovind. Oh yeah, he's
What about Shaka God? Shaka God.
I want to say one of my all-time favorite YouTube moments of all time. It's got to be when Joshua Brister called in to the Atheist Experience and accidentally had to fucking face off against Shannon, who he'd been ducking for like a year and a half, and got his ass kicked. She beat him like a freaking whipping child. It was brutal, dude. God, it was and live. It was so bad that, like, I don't even know how he fucking held his head up afterwards. It was one of those just like, oh my God.
I was sitting with Christina Rad, and I think Jamie was there at the time, and all of us, when Brister phoned in, we're just like, oh, it is on. We're just like sitting in the audience, just rooting on Shannon because we know that she's going to tear a strip off of him.
I know. I was driving back from Atlanta. I just dropped my kid off. We had just spent like 2 days, 3 days at Six Flags. I was on a high. I was having a great day. I'm driving back from Atlanta. I'm stuck in traffic. I'm listening to that thing. And it's like, we have Joshua Brister from Houston. I was like, whoa, this is going to be genius. And he didn't fail to impress me with his inability to formulate a fucking sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, just out of curiosity, is this that Josh guy with the weird beard and the?
No, this is the master apologist.
Okay. What's that other guy? The one that had the cups for Subway.
You're talking Brass Deist?
No, it's Joshua something. Josh something. Oh, what the hell?
No, Joshua Brister online, he's never gone by his name. He's always gone by the master apologist. And he's always been like, I'm 400-0. No one can defeat me. And then, like, every time he gets into a debate with anybody here's the thing. If you don't know what you're getting into with Joshua Brister, it'll seem like he beat you, not because he did, but because it's impossible to talk to the guy. So he exacerbates the conversation until... Does
he have power over the inputs, like the audio and all that kind of stuff?
No, he doesn't. But what he does is he does this weird Gish Gallop word vomit appeal to authority thing that is just impossible. Like, all you can do with it is shut him down. Like, you can't argue with it. You have to shut it down. But if you don't know to do that in advance, you get stuck. Like when I debated him, he went on one of his rants for like 5 minutes, and at the end of it, I just said, "To be honest, Josh, I have no idea what the hell you just said."
Yeah, which is common with him.
I don't think I run across him.
Master apologist, man. Look him up.
No.
No,
Don't look him up. It's a mistake.
don't.
It's a trap.
Okay, don't listen to me.
trap.
Listen to
He's
these
horrible.
guys because they're actually
He's horrible.
they're not lying. They're actually right about that. He's a piece of work. That guy.
I've been in a live debate with him. It's like I would rather masturbate after spending a day on the beach and not showering first.
You'd rather you rather masturbate using a cheese grater?
Yes,
Sandpaper
I would rather eat pocket lint.
But would you eat a pizza pocket?
I'm pretty sure that guy will never talk to me again, just based on because like he chimed in when SJ after SA died. SJ chimed in talking about how he was in hell. He chimed in.
That. Oh Jesus, yeah.
Yeah,
And he chimed in talking about how I dare one of you guys to debate me, and I lit into him like, oh God, I don't even want to fucking talk about it. Like I tore him a new asshole. So if he ever talked to me again, it would be surprising to me.
Yeah,
because I tore him to pieces.
Yeah, I was talking to SJ when that happened through private messaging.
That was my last private. I was talking to SJ through private messaging when that happened too, and my last private message was, "Hey, you know what? I can't interact with you anymore. I've never known anybody to be so recklessly hateful as this.
Yeah,
I can't do it anymore."
I was good for another 3 months, and then I got banned.
Do you remember Scorsifer, May?
Who?
Scorsifer.
No.
You don't remember him?
The satanic apologist.
Satanic apologist? No.
No.
I
know SJ and Apology Supreme or whatever he calls himself.
Master apologist.
Oh, yeah. So satanic apologist. When we came across him, he had pancreatic cancer. He was dying the entire time we knew him. And then it got to the point where he couldn't stand it anymore, and he decided to just go ahead and die. And his wife, by his behest, came on Twitter under his Twitter handle to let us know that he had passed. Mm-hmm. And SJ decided that was a good time to come on and say, well, he's burning in hell. Yep. That's a paraphrase, but that's more or less what she said. And we lit into her like somebody else's business. And then Joshua Brister came in and said, I think she's right. Anybody want to debate me? Which was his big thing. Mm-hmm. Who wants to debate me? I'm undefeatable. And oh God, I don't even remember what I said to him, but it was bad. Mm-hmm. I believe I told him it would be better he'd never been born. I want to say I told him it would be better had he never been born at that point. But I was really angry.
SJ banned. SJ blocked me after I tore into her for her. Don't go on medications. Just pray. And,
yes.
Trans people are.
I saw your reply to her.
Oh, I made several replies to her, and her. The other one was trans people are just depressed, and should not be trans and just pray or some shit like that. And I'm like, I let her have it, and I kept letting her have it.
Jeez,
I had to block her. Like she didn't block me, I blocked her. Like after the thing with the if you're depressed, just turn to Jesus. I lit into her about that. After the North Sentinel Island thing, where she was like, "We need to go there with the military and kill all those heathens," I lit into her about that. And then she did that shit with SA, and I lit into her about that, and then I just said, "I'm done. I never want to speak to you again."
She's a horrible human.
I got it. I got to bounce out.
Yeah,
thanks
for
jumping in with
meeting you.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm glad to have been invited and glad to hang out, and definitely invite me again next time you're on if you like.
Sure, man. Well, anytime.
If I'm available, I'll jump in.
Definitely.
But, cool. Yeah, you get to know more and more people in our little community, we'll call it. Right?
Yeah, I'd be happy to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Jeff, man. Thank you for joining me today.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, Jeff.
Yes.
Before you go, I think we should make you an honorary Canadian.
I would love that.
Because you said sorry so many times in your
So don't do it. Don't do it. If you become a Canadian, you're going to hold the door for people and apologize
you live in
for
fucking Florida. You live in the penis of the U.S.
Ooh.
Just shush.
Yeah.
Well, don't tell me what to do.
At least it's the penis and not Texas, which is
One
the
of
asshole.
my favorite local musicians is Stephen Fearing from Canada. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, the man who married music or something like that. One of my favorite albums. Nobody's ever heard of him, but he's so good. I think he's right up in your neck of the woods.
I think he's a BC boy.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Farewell to y'all, and I'll catch up with you later.
Peace,
Hey,
brother.
take care. Have a good one.
Yep.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
And if you come
Bye-bye.
up here, if you ever come up this way, let us know. We'll take you up for sushi. Well,
Oh, yeah.
Neil will pay.
I got friends. I got friends in high places.
There
There you go. Yeah,
You're
we're
really-
north of you.
Yeah, you what, half an hour down the road.
Yep.
Let him go.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace, brother.
Bye.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh,
He's nice.
he is.
Yeah, Jeff's really cool. I've been chatting with him sort of on, like Facebook, whatnot, away from all this and that, and gotten to know him a little bit. He's a brilliant guy. Like he's like musically,
Oh, crud, yeah.
I could see why he was a producer, right? Doing music production and video production. He's got a head for it. Like it's insane. Oh, excuse me. Too many beers.
And his production values for his videos are very good.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And if you want to see just how good he is at the guitar, I think he's got this one I think he released that's got him playing the intro.
Yeah.
With what's her name singing there that he was talking about.
Yeah, the Christian girl.
Yes. Great song, though.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
If he ever releases a proper album, I'll be glad. Get it.
I'm going to talk to him. I think he has stuff available on iTunes or Bandcamp, one of those two. Like our stuff, my stuff's available on Bandcamp, but I just tell people to go to SoundCloud and listen to it for free. You can do that anytime. You don't need to buy our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you want to,
I was gonna say, I don't mind
whole album for $5, so who cares, right?
Well, it's getting late, isn't it? 7 o'clock, and I gotta get up
Late.
tomorrow.
7
So do I. At 4 a.m.
Yeah, well,
I had to be up at 4:30.
There you go.
It's
I
quarter
think
to
later
it's
here
quarter to
than it
10
is
here.
there. So
Yeah, May, you're on the East Coast, aren't you?
Well, I'm near Toronto.
Oh, that's right.
Peterborough, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting you're Canadian for some stupid. It's like some weird mental block that I've got.
I mean, come on, eh? I'm like,
I don't see a hockey jersey on there. I don't see any poutine in the background. I don't see. Oh, she's going to put a Leafs jersey on. Don't yell at her, okay?
oh God, not the least.
Oh no, that's right, Habs fan. That's
Oh.
why
happy?
I still
All right.
have respect for you because it was a Habs fan, not a Leafs jersey.
Happy?
Yeah, I grew up as a Habs fan until the Canucks kicked in.
And they,
Okay.
Yeah, one of the
My-
most god-awful, useless teams going.
My grandpa's from Quebec, so my mom's side of the family was Habs fans, and my dad's side of the family was Leafs fans. And
They
Wow.
got married.
Leafs. I like the Leafs. That must have been a hell of a wedding. Half the crowd is blue, the other half is red.
yeah,
Yeah, you think an Irish Catholic and an Irish Protestant wedding would be violent.
Oh, Staggerson's just been going nuts. He's no longer on Twitter
Really? How come?
because he just got tired of it.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
And he does everything through YouTube. It's like every half an hour he releases like a 5-minute video about his thoughts on what's going on. Right. And he's been losing subscribers left, right, and center because he says, "Ooh, 600 subscribers," and he had dropped like 25 or something at that point.
oh,
Like, "Ooh, I'm at 600 subscribers," and he talked about how he didn't really care, and then he dropped below 600. Says, "Let's get me to 600." It's like he's just doing all this crazy weird shit, right? But
If he's having fun, what the hell?
yeah, he's having fun.
That makes me think of John Waters. So John Waters was at a sex party one time, right? And a guy was rolling around the ground, licking the dirt and masturbating. And he said, well,
I do that all the
he's
time.
not hurting anybody, and he seems to be enjoying himself.
Mhm. So were you?
Yes, I was. Immensely.
I'm glad you said that because I was waiting for a chance to say, "Oh, good," in another emergency room story. I do like those.
Yeah,
Can't help it.
he's got some gems.
Yeah.
Oh, the closest thing I got is a bloody. I got called into PPC Light Barracks back in the 81, 82, and the boys had got one of the local ladies from the reservation all liquored up, and she wouldn't leave the barracks, and she was stark naked, running around Starkers.
Oh, jeez.
And pissing in the middle of the floor, and she.
What? What was this? A Gatto concert?
No, this was with the CFB Calgary, PPC Light Barracks. And I showed up and I looked and I said, "Where are the RPs? The RPs show up. Regimental police." Yeah, you deal with this. I'm out of here. Fuck it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with that either.
Yeah, you guys got a drug. You take care of it. Get her home.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that we're up to 105 subs now on my No It's Nonsense, so that's cool.
Over 100? You broke 100?
Oh yeah, we broke 100 a while ago. We've gained like 3.
Actually, you did. I think when I
4.
was talking to you, you just broken.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're still over. That's good. We're going up if slow. You know, someone you might want to have on your show is my co-host, my new co-host, Caden. He was brought up actually by in the NIFB.
Wow, really?
means.
NIFB, the New Independent Fundamentalist Baptists that we were doing the whole pumpkin thing about?
Basically, yes. And now he lives in Utah.
Oh Jesus!
With all the Mormons. And is an atheist but a cultural Jew.
Like Neil.
Yeah.
No, like follows what the scriptures say, but not because she believes any gods exist.
Okay. Send her my direction.
Yeah.
Tell her to message
I will
Dorn
take you and Near to yeah, just use me, them, or they, them pronouns for them. But yeah, like it. I would watch that.
Her name was Kaden or Kaylin?
Nee's name is Near name is Kaden.
Kaden.
Yeah, and
also trans?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Nee uses them pronouns, so that's just kind of a heads up. Or they them. You can use they them.
Oh God.
I got you. Okay, so they them. That's okay. That's fair enough.
Yeah. Just use that. It took me a whole long time to get used to to catch on to the name.
Sorry, I can't get into that. There's just no way I can. No, it's. Oh. Dude,
I mean,
there's something about this whole. Oh, it's just something about it. It's just.
Why is it so hard?
I don't get that either.
It just doesn't.
Look, I use she/her pronouns, but I'm non-binary. But I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't
like,
get.
But I like to say, and I kind of borrowed this from Babylon 5. I borrow a lot of stuff from Babylon 5. Understanding is not required, just acceptance. Right?
Can I tell a story? Can I tell a story real quick? I know it's like, but when I used to sing in an LGBTQ choir up in Charlotte. And up until that point, I had never met a transgender person in my life.
Okay.
And I met several people that were transgender, they were transitioning, all that stuff. And I could not, I have a really weird thing about myself that I have to be able to empathize with people. I have to be able to put myself in their shoes. And I couldn't do it. with the transgender people because I've never felt like I was not the gender that I am.
Right.
And it bothered the fuck out of me. And I lost sleep over it, like for
Why?
a solid week, because I couldn't empathize with them, and it made me feel like a bad person. And I was on my way down.
With them a different way.
Well, then just hear me out. I was on my way down to sing a song, to do a performance, and I was working it over in my brain, and I finally just said, it doesn't matter. I don't have to be able to empathize. I don't have to be able to understand it. I just have to accept them for who they are and move on from that point.
Yep.
And it's been really simple for me ever since.
Yeah, it's really just that easy.
Exactly.
But it just because I'm a fucking weird guy that has to be like, I have a weird thing about having to be able to put myself in other people's positions.
That's not
It
a bad
bothered
thing.
me.
It's not a bad thing. That's actually an admirable trait, if you ask me.
Yes, it is very much. I'm kind of the same, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
But this,
You know what the issue is with you, Chris, and
my issue is it's why
You're grumpy. You're a grumpy old fucker.
Yeah, well, that's a given. But my issue is that why? He, she is what you are. If you identify as a woman, fine, you're a she. Even if you're still biologically a male, okay, cool, you'll be a she. Fair enough.
But what if someone doesn't identify as a man or a woman?
Then you go with the biological one you are. Or if you're a eunuch, I don't know. It's just
eunuch. What the fuck?
Well, you know what I'm saying. Asexual.
Yes, right.
Yeah. That'd probably be more like agender, but
agender, asexual.
I mean, I could sit here and we could go through this, for like 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, I know we could.
My grandmother couldn't get my name right. She called me by her daughter's names instead. I do understand what you're talking about, no sacred cows, because I always wait, what pronoun? I don't remember. Ah, crud. It just makes it more complicated.
It is. I mean, it shouldn't be complicated. All it does is it complicates.
No, it's not though. When
I consider
considering I can't get anyone's name right unless it's written down for me.
I'm horrible with names. I almost never use names. Probably because I hated my name most of my life. But here's the thing, right? I am generally very good with using Caden's pronouns because Caden's a friend. I'm very invested in, I'm very invested in being friends with Caden. So I use Nir's pronouns as best I can, even though I've fucked up a couple of times in the last few minutes.
Because they're geared a certain way, right? And
exactly.
What I fall like weird of it is like I'm cool with they them. I'm cool with he, she. I'm cool with all of it. It's just if you have anything that's not they, them, he, she, I will probably forget.
Yeah, but them.
I'm not doing it because I'm trying to be a dick. I'm doing it because I can't keep up. I know too many people, and you're not a part of my personal private life. So if you have a pronoun that's not a generally used pronoun, I will probably forget it. I'm not doing it to be a dick.
And most people will get that, dude.
Yeah. But you think about it. He, she. You're talking towards. You're identified to a specific person, right? Something I'm talking to is she or she. They, them are people who you're not really talking to. They are people who are removed from your Well, they're people that you're not assuming gender for, right?
Well,
so
but Caden prefers Ninem anyways.
I know, but the way I look at it is I'm now cutting them out of the loop. They are no longer directly involved with me. They are. There's a degree of separation now between it. He, she is a more it's more of an intimate thing between two people.
Oh yeah, I get that. That's one of the reasons why I don't use they them pronouns.
Yeah, they them there's also a very negative context.
I'm also a lot older than I look.
There's also a very negative history to the term they. They, them is the term we use when we want to identify those who are not of us.
Okay, but language changes, and
language changes,
but not that to that extent. But what if I mean the term they, them?
I mean,
they
I hear them. I actually totally understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, like I've not had any problem moving to they, them for people that have that.
Yeah,
it's like this.
It's a respect thing.
It's a dumpster fire, Brent. So don't try to turn it into one. We're just
I'll leave it at
nobody's
this.
angry here.
No, it's just we have we all have different concepts or approaches.
It's like this. I'm admittedly not a huge fan of they them pronouns for a few reasons, but like I said before, understanding isn't required, only acceptance, right? Mm-hmm. So they're not. It's not my pronouns. It's not me. It's not my pronouns. It's other people. It's their pronouns. It's important to them. Why should I not use someone's pronouns when it's important to them, even if it's not important to me? Like, how important is it actually to you to not use someone's pronouns? Because I can guarantee you that even for me using she, her pronouns, it's extremely important to me. And and I'm relatively pronoun apathetic, to be honest. But for someone, like Caden or like the majority of the rest of trans people, it's extremely important for them to have whatever pronouns they use to be used. And it, like, people can actually get like, not using the right pronouns can even make people dysphoric. So it's like, just even if you don't like it, just do it. You'll get used to it. Yep. I never used they them pronouns for anyone before last October when I started the support group before I started transitioning. Right, and I never actually knew any. Well, I only ever knew one other trans person that I know of, and I only she uses she, her, but I never actually met another, spoken with another non-binary person before that, and there was a few of them there.
When in doubt, use somebody's name.
Yeah.
If you don't know what pronoun to use, just use their name. I mean, it's easy enough.
Yep.
I've decided my new pronoun that I want you all to use.
Okay.
Your lordship.
Will fat ass survive?
No.
Will fat ass suffice?
No, I told you, your lordship.
Lordship.
Well, you old cocksucker. Listen, what if I don't want to call you your lordship?
Now you're just trying to make a really, really, really bad argument absurdum.
Yes.
Yeah. But, listen, I'm going to call you that old cocksucker from now on.
I can use my response to the attack helicopter thing, and then I can say, I sexually identify as a Queen Elizabeth class battleship. You can add HMCS before my name because I'm Canadian.
No.
My pronouns are she, her.
Sorry. If you're going to identify as a Queen Elizabeth class battleship, you have to use the proper term. That's HMS. Canada never had battleships. The biggest we had was a light cruiser.
Actually, we had a couple of light aircraft carriers. We had a couple of.
Yeah, they were very light. They were escort.
They're heavy cruiser tonnage.
Oh,
they're like 12,000 tons.
Yeah, I know. It was the Maggie. I don't know Maggie.
This is going south.
Yeah, real fast.
And like I said, I'm kidding. I'll use HMCS if I want.
It was HMCS Majestic and HMCS Bonaventure.
Yep. I can't hear you, Neil.
I want to break in long enough to say I love all of you. You're my favorite people in the world. I'm going to check out and go think about death. You guys have a great night.
Take
Yeah,
care.
I gotta have my dinner and then get to bed because I gotta get up tomorrow morning again.
Yeah, I would recommend watching my channel, Nuanced Nonsense, for everybody, just because it's, we have a lot of fun on the channel, just talking about random stuff. It always goes off. We can't hear you, Neil.
Yeah, you muted yourself.
We can't hear you, Neil.
Right.
You're muted. You muted your you probably muted your microphone.
I got a new show going on
so
called Girls Night In.
Yes, I saw that.
Mhm.
So go ahead, shill your channels. You, Mr. No Sacred Cows, you don't do anything with your channel right now, so you got to get back in action.
I know. I keep meaning to. I got to do some politics.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's all depressing.
Of course it is. Politics is always depressing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we got Sheer, we got Brexit, we got numbnuts down south.
Oh yeah, I know. But Wonder Lady, Wonder Lady. Tell them about your channel. You got that new thing coming up, which.
Well, it's on Andrew's channel, Nadine's channel, and my channel. We're
you mirror
turns.
Okay.
We're taking turns, and it's gonna be fun. I've got some questions for the girls this weekend.
Awesome.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And we're going to have some guests on eventually, but right now we're just getting our feet wet.
Well, I was muted.
Wet. Like t-shirts? No. Sorry, I didn't say that.
Oh, well, if I was on camera, I would do
pervy.
the wet t-shirt thing. I've done it before.
I'm an old man. What can I say? I'm a
dirty old man, just like me.
I've also done some Jello wrestling in my life and bar dancing. So
I liked you.
Unless you got videos that it never happened.
Brad saying the show improved for a few seconds when I was muted.
Well, that's fun.
Funny.
Vibrantly, very fun.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He shows up and he goes, "Where's the marshmallows for this dumpster fire?" I'm like, "This is nowhere near what dumpster fires we've seen before. Come on,
God,
guys."
no, we've had some massive ones here.
Well, not here so much, but I'm talking other channels like, the old non-sec.
Yeah,
and,
I want nothing to do with that kind of thing.
Yeah, no.
Well, they can be fun. They can be fun
to watch, but not be a part of. I don't want to be a part of that shit.
I don't even want to watch it. I want nothing to do with that drama. Nothing.
My morbid curiosity kicks in.
I like to stir this shit up once in a while.
Oh yeah, but remember, those who stir the shit often have to lick the spoon.
No, I just pass it on the next person.
Not if I run really fast.
I'll count it sushi.
Yeah, well, we'll go for sushi soon, man, and it's my turn.
I need to get going.
I'll wrap it in tempura batter and then give it to you.
Like you, Neil, I have to get up in the morning, so I gotta run. But yeah, Angie reminded me. I do the Inquisition things. I just did one of Luciano. The one on Thursday is going to be a little bit harder for the poor dear. So, yeah.
I think you went easy on me.
I did.
What do you do me one day?
I'd love to. I want to do all of ya.
Ooh.
I want to have a proper
just not at
roast.
the same time, right? Okay.
Yeah, I want to have a proper roast.
You're a real turd, aren't we?
I like to have my fun.
Exactly. What's life without it? Connect on Twitter, you guys. A little
pain, right?
I'll watch you rake him over the coals for sure.
Cool. All right. I'll see you on the flip side.
You betcha. Thanks for jumping in.
Not a problem. Bye.
I'm gonna bail too. I'll catch you all later.
All right.
Bye.
See you, Chris. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
and thanks everyone for tuning in, guys. I'll be back on Wednesday, I think. I think I still have somebody for Wednesday. They haven't backed out yet, which is good.
Or forgotten.
All right. So, that's right. This coming Wednesday, I'll be interviewing Dave Warnock. If you guys are unfamiliar with Dave, he's a cancer. He's got cancer. They've given him about 5 or so years to live, maybe less. He was on the Atheist Experience. He was on Talk Heathen. He's been on a bunch of people with Seth Anders on his podcast. He's agreed to come on my show to talk about his deconversion, and I'm sure we're going to touch on the whole cancer issue because I lost my dad to cancer. Yeah. So it's cancer sucks. Let's just face it. But anyways,
my uncle is one of my uncle on my dad's side is currently dying of vascular cancer.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry, May. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I don't really know him. I haven't really interacted with that side of my family for a while, but I was at a family gathering. It does. So it really sucks. And the entire family is.
The worst part of it is it's not so much the person who's dying. I mean, I was here for my dad's last week, right? I look at it. The worst part of it is not for the person who's dying. They've already beat pretty much. They know they're going. They've
accepted, yeah.
They've accepted it. They don't want to go, but they usually don't write out. The hardest thing is for the people sitting around waiting. I hate to say it, but my dad was going. I actually thought, come on, just let it go. Just go. Put us out of that misery.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, it sounds cruel and heartless.
It's not, though, because it's a rational response.
Yeah, I mean,
my uncle is 62.
That's
when
young.
I saw him, he seemed like, he was like 82.
Yep.
It was horrible.
It's a horrible disease. I've already made up my plans. If I come down with it, I'll fight it as long as I can. But I'm going to go assisted suicide. If I can't get that, I'm popping down the east side, picking up a hot shot.
There you go.
No, I mean it.
I hear you. Yeah, I know you do. Like, I know you well enough now to know that you'd be serious about that.
Yeah, I would. I would say to my family, hey, look, this is I can't. This is hurting me too much. I can't. I'm not going to survive it. I can't put you through this. I can't put myself through it anymore. I'm going.
I just recently fixed my biggest problem. So I would fight, bite, scratch, kick. I would not go easily.
No, you wouldn't. But there is a point where you realize you're not gonna do it, and the pain and the suffering that you are going through, and what you're putting other people through.
They're not putting. It's just a result of.
Well, yeah. It's a result.
It's not an intentional action. That's what I mean.
No, I know, but it's the way. If I was going to, I would think I'm putting my family through this by, it's my battle. I'm going through.
I got you.
I'm putting my family through the things. Why would I do that to them?
Right. You don't want to continue realizing that you are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's my choice. I said, look, I'm done. And at my age, that could be anywhere from next tomorrow to 30 years, 30, 40 years at my age.
Yep.
Because I'm
our age. Dude, you're past 50.
You're 52, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm 7 years older than you.
I know.
Yeah. So at our age, this is something we have to start to consider.
All the time.
Have you had the finger up the bum yet?
Oh, yeah. Multiple times. I've gotten quite close with my doctor, actually.
Yeah. I don't get that anymore. I get blood tests.
I bring him flowers and wine and stuff.
For different reasons.
Well, once a year, every 3 months I get blood tests. But once a year, I get the
every 6 months for me.
Yeah. Every year I get the prostate done, and every 2 years the colon.
Yep. It's I would do it even more frequent than that myself.
Sooner or later it's going to get you. That's the trouble. If you're male and you live past 50, the odds are you will come down with it. Will it kill
or
you?
Something. Yeah.
Well, the prostate, with men, prostate cancer is a given. You live long enough, you will get it. My grandfather had it. It didn't kill him. He got it late in life, right? He just had a taxi ticker. He was 90 years old. Come on.
No, 90 is pretty good. Make it to 90.
Like the doctor says, you got prostate cancer. Don't worry about it. You'll die. Somebody's going to kill you before that.
Your natural death will take over before that is.
I don't know how that's going to work for me because the medications I'm on is shutting everything down there off.
Right.
So
It might be very
That's so
different.
weird. It really drastically decreases the risk of that. But I have some other stuff that's not gonna that's got an increased chance of getting cancer.
Yes. But
so-
not if you keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do testings.
But
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you probably think I am. I'm 35, not 25.
Oh, what a puppy.
Well, you've got the youthful looks going for you, May. That's for sure.
35 years
Yeah.
old. Wish I was 35.
I looked young my whole life too, and look at me now. I mean, it's paying off. If you ask me,
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't look that old. This guy, on the other hand, yeah. He's like, here, I got another one for you too. Now you can have another. Here's a whole bouquet.
Well, I've had all the facial hair removed and everything, so
That's awesome.
well,
Yeah,
almost all of it. So I probably look even younger. My roommate shouted out, "What? You're 34? I thought you were 24." When I told her how old I actually am.
If I were to shave my facial hair off, I swear to you, I look like I'm 15 years old.
I'll pass. I can pass for 45, 40
Yeah, there you go.
without this.
Yeah, it makes a difference, man.
But I'm not
It
shaving
really
it off.
does. I used to have a year ago. I had a beard at to like here, so
I remember you posted pictures about that. This is a little
yeah,
while
I do.
back, though.
I do the odd time. I would shave like once every 4 months.
Yeah, I'm keeping
I
this.
just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, it looks
No,
good on you though, dude. So.
Now I have to be bothered, or it looks
Yeah,
patchy.
I earned the gray.
that's a good way to put it. I earned the gray.
Yeah.
That's why my hairdresser's just like, "Do you want me to still color your hair?" I'm like, "No, I'm beyond that shit now." I'm like, you really? It's going to be an effort now. Before you were just covering up the odd gray and going a color that I liked, like a dark purple black or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
So now what you need is a sheep dip.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm just like, just let it go, man. I don't care.
Yeah,
You'd be like,
I mean,
I don't care.
yeah.
I shaved mine off for a while, but I had a really patchy. It's like black, and said, "Okay, I'm gonna just shave it off, and then grit back. Okay, that looks decent now."
Yeah, it's acceptable.
Yeah. Like you can see right there, it's still got a little dark patch.
Sure, I get them too.
Where is it? Oh, over there.
Right here. This is
Right there.
this is my nemesis right there.
The stash nemesis.
Yeah. Well, the shadow of one, anyways.
Yeah.
I've
Right.
been since Friday.
Anyways, we were bailing, so I better get going.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah,
time.
yeah. Sorry.
We're the Canadians that are left. We're the troopers.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
ready?
We're totally the Canadians are all left.
That's right.
we
Eh?
keep going when everybody else decides to bugger off dairy.
That's right. Stop
Thanks.
playing around with our beavers and watch more hockey, eat more poutine, and drink our maple syrup.
There's a restaurant around the corner from me that has like something like 400 different types of poutine.
Oh, that must be the place that my buddy Mikey was talking about.
There's only one type of
Salt
food.
Cafe.
Something like that, I think he said. Yeah.
He's in Peterborough.
And they have they stuff it full too, right? Like you put a container, and then when you open up, the top of it's the shape of the container.
In Peterborough?
Maybe not in Peterborough. He was in Ajax. So
No, this is an independent place. Like this is a privately owned business.
so what's the place he was talking about? Like a mom and pop joint?
The one here is a mom and pop joint.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
It's
Anyway,
I'm
I'm gonna bail. I'm gonna bail.
All right, brother.
All
Take it easy.
Talk to you later. Take care.
You bet.
Yeah.
Peace, man.
Beef deluxe is the best. Ground beef and mushrooms and green peppers. On top of the
curds.
poutine. It's a whole fucking meal.
And then the gravy. Oh yeah. And see, now I'm fucking hungry again, mate. Thanks.
Sorry, I kind of am too.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in and hanging out with us. We're gonna bail now. The Canadians lasted the longest. Remember that, motherfuckers. All right. Next time. Until next time, like I always say at the end of these things, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge and it's not poutine. And we'll see you guys next time.
A good one, eh?
Got to throw that A in.